everything you can hear. 100% infield. Huge thing here. This is also on island. I mean, can you even see it 3D printed? Oh no, even play around. It's very nice. So we are in the lab. 40mm tube. Whoa. Can be mine. All our different materials. How do you guys like this? I think we are live. And we are. How's everyone? Throw firelight first. First of the first. Sam Bender, Luis Rodriguez. How are you? I think Luis, it's the first time I see you on the stream, no? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you know we were streaming 3 times a week? Every Tuesday for a Q&A, Thursday for Print Busters, and then Saturday afternoon for you on Twitch. Mark and Draka, welcome. Robert Porter and Kevin Tucker. Oh, my chat is let me scroll down. And Tobin, thank you everyone for coming. Today I'm 15 minutes late. Had some issue this morning, but it should be all back on track. Why I cannot see the last message? Somehow I cannot see the last message every time. Randy, thank you for joining. So I hope you guys have some 3D printing question for today. And before I start, I always forget. Before I start, let's get our awesomeness going. So let me get that going. So I change. So you have to type "I am awesome" now to bring some awesomeness in the stream. Mainly because apparently I've been notified that depending on where you come from, depending on your keyboard and stuff, the apostrophe is different, and there is some people that every time actually does not enter the giveaway because the apostrophe somehow is different depending on the keyboard you're using. So I've received some messages to highlight this, and the suggestion was just to remove it. So you can still bring some awesomeness, but slightly different than usual. So just to make sure you guys know, so that you can enter properly. And then let me put our banner there. So don't forget to bring some awesomeness and get the chance to win a Polymaker spool. So let's get good day, Randy. Let's get started. So like always, if you have any question, any 3D printing question, whether it's for Polymaker itself, any new filaments, any I don't know, anything related to our company, feel free to ask. And then anything related to 3D printing troubleshoot. So if during the week, since last Tuesday, you had some issue with your 3D printer, any material, setting issue, setting recommendation, feel free to ask. If you have some question, I don't know, related to materials, for example, what's the difference between different material? Question about application, that's your application, what's the best material for that? Any particular question, feel free to post it in the chat, and then we'll answer them. And then at the same time, we are going to go through our regular Reddit question. As you know, this community is a huge community. I think almost 1.5 million members. So you can see a little bit how big the 3D printing community is growing in the world, or at least in the English-speaking world for that particular community. I mean, when I joined the community, I think it was less than 200,000, if I remember well, and that was 6 or 7 years ago. And now you have 1.4 million people. That's crazy how many people start to use 3D printing. Mark Andraka. Just curious, is the 8% in the CFPLA what gives the color, or is the base PLA black? No, everything comes from the carbon fiber. Actually, that's one of the main reasons we cannot do any color with PLA CF, is because the CF itself makes it black. So even if we add color master batch of any other color, it would still look black. Maybe different kind of black, but yeah, everything comes from the color. What's a good material to use as a support with Polymaker ASA? What would break away the best? You know what, Dub Risky, the best material which will arrive very soon was on the market, and then we remove it for 2 months, is this one, poly support for PC ABS. So if you go on our Discord, you will see that material. So it's a pink material, and it's you may know poly support for PLA, and this is poly support for PC ABS. So it's more for high temperature, and it works extremely well with ASA. It's a breakaway support. It was available in beta testing. So depending on where you're based, it was available in the US and Canada, and it was removed 2 months ago, and it will come back next month. It will come back next month with the reviewed. We had some feedback from the beta testing. We reviewed the formula, and it will come back. It will come back next month. So that's what's the best material. Come out on PLA. What's up? Very good. How are you? Let me remove that, and let me put back this one. Come out on PLA. Yeah, I thought so. So one Raz, all of the people that just came, we change. Where is my? We remove the apostrophe. So just to make sure that you don't use the apostrophe anymore. The main reason is because depending on where you come from and depending on the keyword you had, we noticed that there's different type of apostrophe, and if you're not using exactly the same as mine, then you're not entering. So we remove that. So please make sure to read properly the scrolling message at the bottom, so that you can enter properly. Okay, so MP Voxel 3D printer tube stuck with filament. Advice on how to remove the white tube. Okay, usually how to remove that, you just have to press the thingy. I have no idea how it's called, but I mean most of the pipe system are using this idea, right? You have some if you pull it, then the hooks is gonna catch on the pipe. But to prevent that, you have to push that ring here. If you push that ring, then you will be able to remove the PTFE tube. Yeah, exactly, the small ring here. So I guess it's the same system. I haven't seen any other 3D printer that doesn't have this system where you have to push that thing here, the ring, in order to prevent the small hook inside from catching the PTFE, and then you just remove it. Actually, there is one comment. Let's make sure that his issue was answered. And what was that printer? MP Voxel 3D printer. Oh, the Monoprice. Okay, the Monoprice 3D printer. Hard to tell from the photo angle, but if the feeding tube pneumatic, you push down the. Okay. So that was answered. The next one. Okay, next question from John. Hey Nick, I was wondering, can you overdry filament? In most filament dryer, does it become more brittle? No. So to answer the first question, you cannot over dry filament. If there is no moisture, then there's no moisture. It's not gonna affect. There's no over drying. And then does it become more brittle? Yes and no. So yes, in a way that when you're drying the filament, you are applying heat to the system. And if you're drying it, it means your filament has moisture. And when you mix moisture and heat, that's the perfect combination to degrade your filament. So the more you dry your filament, and the more you're going to degrade it, and the more you're going to make it brittle. So the fact that it's dry is not what makes it brittle. It's the fact that you're drying it, you are putting the exact condition to degrade the backbone of the polymer. So you're going to break down the polymer into smaller chain, and then you're going to make it more brittle. And so that's one part. And the other part is the drier the filament is, and the more rigid it will become. So you could take this as brittle, but brittle means it's rigid but weak. But the fact that there is no water molecule inside will make it more rigid, but not necessarily weaker. So hopefully that answered the question. Okay, so why is my 3D print coming out like this? So let's check out how it comes out. Okay, so most likely bed leveling. There's no bed leveling. Especially he's doing that bed leveling test. So I'm pretty sure. So if we take a look more clearly, I would say it's too close to the bed. It's too close to the bed, and then it's squishing the material out, and then this squishy material is catching on the nozzle and creating all of this stringy stuff. But it seems like on most of the bed, it was too close. Yeah, I guess that's the issue here. Too far from the bed or too close? Yeah, John, I think too close. The fact that there is stringing could make us think that is too far, but I think the stringing is caused by squishing the filament, and then it's coming out of the side and then catching on the nozzle and then creating the string. Hi, Stephen Poole. Do you have any 3D printing question for us today? Hi, Austin. Thank you for joining. Are these results good for XYZ cube calibration test? So the calibration test, a lot of people are using it for different purpose, right? We talked about it on Print Busters in the flow calibration. If you are interested, you can go. Let me put that on this side. If you are interested, you can go on our Discord. You go in our Print Busters topic, and then flow calibration. And here we are talking about, really in depth of what's the usefulness of calibration tube, which we believe people are not really using it in the right way. We don't think that the calibration test is used in the right way, like the dimension. But if he's talking about surface quality, then it's not bad. Maybe some ringing on the side, ghosting or ringing, depending on the vocabulary you use. But except from that, it's okay. How to remove that? Then I would just lower the jerk. So just make your movement change at the lower speed, and I guess that should solve the issue. PETG support. Let's go and check that PETG support. Under extruding, maybe. So you're talking about the other picture. Yeah, I didn't check actually. Yeah, definitely. The top layer doesn't look very good, and most likely because it's under extrusion, like you said. So you can see that it's under extruding not because of temperature, but because of speed. Because most likely because you can see that short paths are extruding better than long paths. So that means once it's reaching a slightly higher speed, then it's under extruding, or it's a problem with the fact that most of printers don't have linear advance, and that could be an issue. But I would use linear advance, and I would recheck my flow. Then that should solve that top layer. Actually, there is some people that are actually using top layers to calibrate their flow. As long as there is gaps, they keep increasing the flow. I think Zombie, for example, is using that technique in order to calibrate his flow. I'm so awesome. I won't enter to let other people win. Thank you, Non-Fam, for other people. Need tuning on the top layer. Yes, FDAF patch. You're right. Oh, FDAF patch. I think you're from Mexico, right? I think I ordered your spool yesterday. You won somewhere in the last few weeks, and I ordered your spool yesterday. How do I calibrate my X steps? Zombie, wrong stream. That's print busters. Your level of question requires print busters, Zombie, not our regular Q&A here. But actually, Zombie, I don't know if you just joined or not, or it's because you heard me, but we were talking about the way you calibrate your flow, and in this case, I think it would help to increase the flow to improve the top layer. But now the question is, it would be interested to see if the E step was calibrated during that test. But anyway, that's a different topic. I just print a vase mode cube to calibrate flow. Yeah, again, for all the people interested in flow calibration, we have a whole topic on that. A whole topic. I mean, like we're going into details about that topic. I posted the pin post, should be one of the summary on how to calibrate the flow of your printer. So feel free to go and check that. Check out Teaching Tech 3D printer calibration calculator. Yeah, John, like I say, we spend a lot of time on that already. You didn't answer me on Discord, so I was just waiting. Yeah, sorry, but here I'm answering you during the stream. There you go. I'm joking because you don't adjust X step. Yeah, I didn't want to answer that, just not to get people started on the subject. But it's too late now. You get people starting on the subject. PTA support. Hello everyone. I have a print that can't really be redesigned much. I did try adding chamfer to slope up, but they're not really helping. It has to be PTG. I've tried other methods, but it definitely needs support. Are there any tips to get decent looking print out of PTG while using support, or even a way to use support with PTG that are removable, other than dual extrusion? Obviously, my supports stick like crazy to the PTG and need a lot of work, which isn't a great option for this part either. Eddie, this is the part without the chamfer. All the chamfer did make it look nice until the overhang part. The side is printed on the bed. Okay, let's have a look at the model. See how it looks like. What's that? Okay. So it's a big bridging, right? So he wants this part to look better than it is now. What, to be honest, is not bad. I mean, this part is not bad. The other one can definitely be improved, but this part is already not bad. How to make that one better? With yeah, so he's saying his support, my support stick like crazy to the PTG. And usually the harder the support is to remove and the better the surface quality, usually. So if this was with a support very hard to remove, then I'm not too sure how he can improve that. But I doubt. I mean, when I'm checking the surface quality, then I doubt the support was difficult to remove. So usually my favorite support setting are triangle, 10% infill, 3 dense layer with 80% infill density for the dense layer, and then 1 layer gap. And usually it's a little bit hard to remove because of that thick dense layer, but I usually have perfect support, supported area. So that's usually what I use. So I don't know what's his. I wish he would have shared, a picture of the support itself or the setting. But that's what I usually use. I like triangle pattern because it's very rigid for a low infill. I like I always put that wall around my infill in order to make it stronger. It's not very necessary in this case. I always use horizontal expansion, but in this case it wouldn't help. Or I also always use XY distance between the vertical wall and the vertical wall of my support. So I always use at least 5 millimeter between the wall and my support, so that it's easier to remove. Otherwise, it may weld on the side. And usually I have very, very good result with that support. I'm obsessed with printer calibration. Yeah, then you go. go and join our Discord. There's a lot of people obsessed with printer calibration there. PTG support can be a real pain. Yeah, because PTG has one of the best layer adhesion. I mean, if you're printing in the right condition, two material printed in the right condition, PTG will usually have the one with the best layer adhesion. And I define layer adhesion by the ratio between the Z tensor strengths and the XY tensor strength. So that's how I define layer adhesion. FDAV patch. Oh, I have a fun thing. Don't use base mode for flow calibration. Oh, okay. Some flow stuff again. I don't use fin wall measurement for flow calibration. Okay, so get started on the flow stuff. It's weird on Cura, a combination of surface flow and part fitting print. I want Forrest Gibson. I want to do a test with different materials. I see sample packs, but it's version of the same material. Could I reach out and put together a sample pack to compare different materials? But it's versions of the same material. Forrest Gibson, I don't understand your question. I want to do a test with different materials. I see sample packs. Okay, so let's go and check them. But it's version of the same material. No, it's not version of the same material. If you go and check for our sample, we have the sample box here, and it's definitely not version. You have like the sample box one. The sample box one is PLA, PTG, TPU, PVB, wood, and then ABS, ASA, PC, breakaway, PVA, nylon, and then PS6 GF, PS6 CF, and then PC, PC ABS, PC PVT, PC FR with some magic glue. So it's not different version of the same material. Okay. He wants like ABS, PTG, PLA in a pack. Yeah, then that's exactly what we have. Next one. Hello everyone. I have a print that can't really be. Oh, okay, we did that one. Nozzle question. It's a tungsten nozzle worth the expense. The brass nozzle are not expensive but wear out. I saw the tungsten one and thought there might be better option long-term cost and ease of use. Would love some input from you all. It depends. If it's for abrasive material, then I think the real question here should be if you're printing with abrasive material, is that better to just replace your nozzle all the time because it will wear out quickly, or is that better to invest into a harder nozzle? Because if his question is in general, then even PLA would have some challenge, or will have some issues to wear out your nozzle. So I think the brass nozzle is well enough if you are not looking to use abrasive material. But if you're printing abrasive material, then even if the brass nozzle would be very, very cheap and then you can change it every time, the problem is even during like 4 or 5 hours print, it's enough time for the brass nozzle to be completely worn out. So you will start with a great quality print, and then very quickly you will have quality issue on your print because the nozzle will be much bigger than what it should be, and it won't be round anymore. So definitely abrasive material. Don't go the path of buying a bunch of cheap nozzle and then changing all the time. Just invest in a harder nozzle. I think in terms of money, I think is better, and but the main one is print quality. The printing quality would be much better. Best would be tungsten carbon for hardness compared to tungsten. Yes. I think his question was whether you go cheap nozzle or expensive nozzle. The last two packs are what I mean. A pack with different PC blends. If I wanted to get a pack with maybe 2 flavors of PC, 1 flavor of nylon, Polymax, PG, etc., is that possible? Or is there a place to buy samples individually? Not at the moment, Forrest. It would be very expensive to for you to have like a custom pack. Like let's say you want this 2 type of PC, 1 nylon, PTG. We can make it for you, but it would be super expensive because that means we custom made everything. We take 50 gram of something. So we haven't put in place operation or logistic to to allow people to make their custom samples. We do have Polymaker First Try. It's a coupon code where you can receive 15% off your first order. So that's during your first order. If you want to try something, then you have 15% off all the different spool. So you can that's Polymaker First Try. So that's the coupon code we have for your first order on our website. If you are in the US, if you are based in the US, there might be some different promotion depending on where you're based. Nick, you don't like to taste filaments? Not really. I have to be honest. I do really like the PLA smell when it's printing. I have no idea why, but when it's printing, and I'm like, oh, it smells so good. I don't think it's very good to do that, but somehow I don't know. I really like when, especially when you extrude at a high temperature and then it's purging, and then you have all of that smell. It's like, oh, that's so good. And by the way, one thing, I have seen a lot of people asking to develop scented filament. You know, those filament that when you print them, then it's smelling, I don't know, coffee or whatever stuff, right? And we wanted to do that, and we actually did that. But one main thing is, if we make scented filament, we have to make sure that smelling that is good for you, right? And that's something that a lot of people forget when they ask to develop scented filament. Because can you imagine we make a PLA with I don't know, coffee bean inside or some kind of way so that it smells like coffee, and then you print, and then you're so happy that it's smelling coffee, and then you smell all of that coffee, and then you smell, and then finally, I mean, it's definitely melting molten plastic that you're smelling. So even though it smells good, but are we developing a filament that makes you smell toxic stuff, but it smells good? Or are we doing something right? So that's the main reason why we haven't released the scented filament yet, because we don't want to release something and say, hey, smell that, and then 2 years from now we are going to have a report from FDA that says, fumes from 3D printers are bad for you in the long term or something like this. So that's the main reason why we haven't released that. So if there is any of you that suggested that in our Discord, then that's the main reason why we haven't released it. Forrest Gibson, understandable. I didn't know if the samples were picked individually anyway and then put in the box. Yeah, Forrest Gibson, they are already done. So it's part of it's one full SKU. So when we produce, we always put the same thing, and that's what make the sample box cheap. Because that's like 7 different materials for less than $20. Hey Jerry, thank you for joining. PLA, the forbidden candy smell. Did we get a bat? Did we get a bat? Sorry, I didn't understand. Is that an American joke? I go on vacation and we get automation. Scented ABS would be bad. Yeah, I mean, even PLA. I mean, who has done some work on who has done the medical research on PLA, right? Nobody, right? Okay, some more awesome people are joining the stream. So make sure you ask all of your 3D printing question, and then we'll get those answered. When is a good time to use a raft? There's no raft. I've always used them because I feel like it provides supports to my print, but I noticed that it also causing me to burn through a lot of filament. I see a lot of print not using raft, but some do, and it confuses me. Is there a proper time where I should ignore a raft? So, where does the raft come from? In my opinion, the raft come from Stratasys, and then Stratasys solve the bed leveling by using a raft. That's what I think. And they use a raft with dual extrusion, so they have a different material for the raft, and then the build material for the model. And then strategists were using that, and then the raft somehow came to desktop printers, and it was kind of used for bed adhesion, but I don't think it helped very much with bed adhesion. Actually, I think you can make the part stick better to the build plate directly. So that's my thinking. The raft was used by strategists with a different material, so that's why it was easy to remove. And then somehow it stayed, like ABS, for example. It stayed even though it was not a very good material for 3D printing. And then that's where it come from. Where I think the raft is very useful is for bed that are warped, or they are not level, so they are not flat. Sorry, not leveled, but they are not flat. If your bed is not flat, then the raft helps a lot, because the raft is going to make a thick padding at the bottom, and then it will level out everything. So if it's not level, then just level your bed. Okay. If it's not flat, then even if you level it to the best you can, then you will still have up and down, and then that's where you can use a raft. I wouldn't use a raft for anything else. If you have problem with layer adhesion, then there's with bed adhesion, there's a lot more to do rather than raft. Like, for example, a brim for me is better than a raft. And also the raft are usually not that easy to remove. If you want it to be easy to remove, then you may have some adhesion issue between the model and the raft. If you want it to stick well to the raft, then you will have issue removing the raft. So I'm personally not a big fan of raft. I never used raft in my life, except where I had a build tech, and then when I print some stuff on the build tech with PC, when I removed the PC part, then I chipped off my build tech, and then I ended up with some holes and stuff. So I at that time I printed a raft so that it covered all the holes, and then I started on a very flat surface. So that's the only reason I would use a raft. Stephen Paul, I never use a raft, but that's me. Yeah, same here. Never use a raft. Raft can be nice for ABS, ASA, PC if you set the line width from brim to 0, in my opinion. Yeah, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on why raft would be nice for ABS and not for PLA, for example. I meant brim. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I think brim is a good option. Posted VOC link on Discord, Robert. Where did you put that? Did you put that on general? Where did you put that? Did you pick me? Awesome video. No. Yeah, maybe. Do you want general maybe? Tom Turtle, and who did that? Robert Perter. So Robert Perter, you are Tom Turtle, right? That's the VOC, blah blah. Yeah, but that's the VOC, right? I mean that's just it doesn't yeah, anyway, let me I will read that later. Maybe that could be a great printbuster topic, like whether the fumes from 3D printings are toxic for human or not, and which term, and then yeah, that could be a great topic, because there is no much on Google on that, or at least not at a level that there's no certification, there is no medical research, this kind of thing. There is a lot of papers about it, but there's no much recognized research on that. But it's been a year that I haven't really dived into that topic, so that would be interesting to see if in the last year there's some new stuff that happened. But yeah, maybe Zombie, if you think that could be a great printbuster topic, maybe we can add that in our topics. Print buster topic on VSC are coming. Yeah, FDPAV. Yeah, I think so. It looks good. It looks like a nice topic. Fumes and microparticles. No, zombie, not draft. The fumes. The 3D printing fumes. Like is PLA better than ABS? Is that a thing? Sorry, I'm half paying attention. Yeah, no worries, zombie. So we're talking about the fumes. But don't worry, I will send you a message after the stream. I was watching this video, and at the 1 minute mark says how you should use PTFE lined hot end if you have birds. I have 3 and was wondering if anyone knows where I can get one that's non-PTFE. Wait, what? If you have birds, is birds like the animal, or is birds has a different meaning in English? And the 1 minute mark.
Every once in a while, a rip with a PTFE lined hot end. If you have any birds in your house, you definitely shouldn't use a PTFE lined hot end. Unscrew.
Okay, so he just throw that information like this.
PTFE lined hot end.
If your bird is experiencing open mouth breathing, or okay, so I guess it is the animal. Okay, so most likely I have no ideas of the context, but I can guess. My guess is the PTFE in the nozzle is well, we were talking about fumes, right? So I guess that's clearly the issue here. And somehow the birds are more likely to maybe the fumes are more toxic to the birds than us, I guess, or something like this. But yeah, it's interesting. But I guess, I mean, whatever animals or whatever is breathing in the house, whether it's you or whether it's your pet or birds, then we all suffer the same thing when it comes to breathing something bad, right? We all like oxygen, and we don't like the rest, right? I guess. But it's interesting. I was wondering if birds was really birds, or it meant something else. Oh yeah, that would be great. Melting plastic PTFE is very toxic. Yeah, I heard that birds are more sensitive to PTFE tubes. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. PTFE fumes. Oh, it's about the PTFE decomposition due to high temperature. Birds are very sensitive to chemicals. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess some animals are more sensitive than others. Okay, got it. You want an all metal heat break? Yes, and I guess for much more reason than just the fumes. I think the all metal heat break is a good idea, especially for maintaining high temperature. I like birds, like bird in mines. Oh, that's why they use the birds in the mines. Like if the bird is like just die, then you better run out of the mine. Oh, okay, because they are much more sensitive than us. Oh, okay, good point. Good point. Yeah, I knew about those birds that were used in the mine, but I haven't. Yeah, I wanted to make sure it was a bird. But okay, got it. Hi, Santiago. Removing solidified resin on the LCD screen. Okay, so that's not FDM. Any good video for learning Fusion 360? Okay. First time the extruder does that sound. Should I be worried? Will it die soon? Okay, let's hear that sound, and let's identify if your printer is going to live overnight. Hello, Jake from State Farm. And I also like enclosed encounters of the third kind. I don't understand why can't include a 50-cent metal heat break. And also like close encounters of the third kind. I didn't understand that. Well, it's not loading. First time the extruder is making that noise. I want to hear that noise. If you are looking for an image, it was probably deleted. Oh, okay. So so nothing. Okay. But now I'm curious, what kind of sound would make you worry? Like the clicking when it's printing? What water pump could I 3D print? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. For those who have printed Iron Man helmet, any tips for infill amount or in general setting? Also, any helpful videos or guides? Oh, I would definitely go on the LM show if you're printing some helmets. I think there is everything you need to know about helmets there. Newbie question: what happened and how to fix it? If you're looking for an image, it was probably deleted. Okay, so is it all the image are deleted or it's just no? Okay, so it's just this image. So sorry, I cannot help without image. Dumb question about springs. Struggling with flexible filament. Anybody has advice? Okay, that's a good one. How to print flexible, like very flexible. Close Encounters is a movie. They use bird to test for radiation. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that movie. Maybe that's why I didn't understand the message. Got it. I've been trying to print some parts that I need to be pretty soft. Okay. And I could use some help advice on how to work with it. The filament I'm using is Core X Shore 60A TPU. Core X? What's that brand? Is anyone here use Core X? Core X filament? I didn't know that brand. Coex? Core X or Coex? Core X Shore? Huh. Was it a typo? Maybe it was a typo. Coex. Okay, interesting. And they make some very, very flexible TPU, right? Search our product, TPU. Coex Flex 60A TPU. Okay. What's their printing setting? Extrusion multiplier up to 125 compared to rigid material depending on your tension setting. Oh, I like that. Non-toxic, blah, blah, blah. Recommended print temperature. 210 plus minus 5, never approach or exceed breakdown temperature. Oh, the breakdown temperature is 230? Really? Oh, that's interesting. I print most of my TPU above 230. So I would have made that mistake, obviously. I would definitely have made that mistake. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's the first time I see a material that cannot print above 230 or at 230. Interesting. Breakdown temperature. That's a TPU. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so it's Shore 63 density, tensile strength. Okay, interesting. Anyway, so what was the question? For some reason, it's not extruding well at all, just barely spurting out materials. Does anybody have experience with similar filament? I'm using Prusa i3 Mark III. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's definitely the common issue with flexible filament. So the first thing I would say is a lot of people need soft models or soft thing, okay, for the application. And when they think about soft, they think about very, very flexible filament, very soft filament, like 60A, for example, instead of going the regular 95A. And for me, I think that's the first mistake. The first mistake is to think that if you need a soft thing, a soft model in 3D printing, then you need a soft material. But that's not the case. The Shore harness is very useful for injection molding because it's 100% infill anyway. So the only softness you get is from the material. But in 3D printing, it's completely different. You can have a model that is softer than another one, even though this is a rigid material and this is a flexible material, because it all depends on the structure. The flexibility in 3D printing depends as much on the structure as it depends on the material. In injection molding, it mainly depends on the material. So, for example, we had a lot of customers that are doing insoles, right? Insoles for your shoes and also the upper shoe, and they don't, even though the insole needs to be different flexibility. What they do is they have different profile, but they use all the same. They use 95A for all the different insole. Even if you have soft insole, hard insole, and semi-hard insole, and they all use exactly the same material, but the infill inside is customized, and that's how it makes the different softness. So that's for me the first mistake. The first mistake is to use a basically unprintable material just because you need something soft. Now, let's say for some reason you really need spaghetti filament. Okay, so in that case, first you need the problem with flexible filament is that the core issue is that it doesn't translate the tension from the extruder to the nozzle. So it doesn't translate the pressure, because the pressure in the nozzle is created by the extruder, right? So you need some kind of stuff in between to translate that pressure, and that's what flexible filament are very bad at. So a way to solve this: first, if you use very flexible filament, you have to have extruder or a hot end that is designed for flexible filament. And designed for flexible filament means there is literally no way for the flexible filament to bend inside the path between the extruder and the nozzle. So that's one thing. The other one, you need driver gears to be designed to catch well on to catch the flexible filament very well. So you have the regular brass nozzle from like the 11, 12 millimeter from the Ender 3 doesn't catch on the flexible filament very well. It kind of like slip a lot. But there is like dual gear that are shaped in a way that it catch the filament very well. You know, it's a little bit rounded, and then it catch the filament very well. And then another side where you can solve that problem. So now we solve the fact that you need to translate the pressure very well. So that's one way. The second way is you have to lower the needed pressure for the extrusion. So the needed pressure comes from the viscosity of the material. So the higher the viscosity, the more pressure you will require to extrude, and the lower the viscosity, and the lower the viscosity and the less pressure. And how to lower the viscosity? Then you have to increase the printing temperature. But in this case, you cannot go above 230. So that means this material is basically either very, very challenging to print, either you really need a very, very good hot end to print that material, or you print it at, I don't know, 2 millimeter per second or something like this. But that's my take on this. Most important is, if you need a soft model, don't think about soft material first. Think about the structure. Think about how you're going to design that model to make it flexible. Okay, hopefully that was clear on that one. Advice for flexi: very short and constrained path from the extruder to the hot end. Yes, Zombie. I think because they use remote drive and retraction must be bigger, blah, blah. Coex is a brand. Yeah, I think he made a mistake by calling it like Core X. Is there any way to make brittle filament flexible? One Rise, is there any way to make brittle filament flexible? You mean at home? Like you have a brittle filament and then you want to make it flexible? Like by yourself? Or you mean us as a filament manufacturer, we can formulate something that makes PLA flexible, for example? So for us, yes, we can use plasticizer to make a brittle filament less brittle. But for you, if you have a brittle filament, how to solve that? Well, you can make it absorb moisture. That could be one way. Usually, in most polymers, moisture acts as a plasticizer, so the moisture will go in between polymers, and then will create more movement between polymers, and will make it less brittle. So that's one way. Yeah, that's it. What I'm thinking about. I mean, you cannot do much at home when it comes to reformulate your material. That's low for TPU. Yeah, definitely. 68 is very very low. That's a very flex filament. So usually it's always like this. They think that they need a very flexible part and they are going to find the most flexible filament, which I think that's the first mistake. You can design. I mean, Subsector 3D on Twitch just printed like a teddy bear, and it's completely squishy because there is almost no infield and I think 3 or 4 shell, which is already a big 3 or 4 shell, right? But that squishiness, it's even more flexible than if you use a 60A in injection molding. So it's the shore harness has it doesn't have the same usefulness when it comes to injection molding or 3D printing. TPU 90 is very flexible. Yeah, TPU 90 is already flexible enough. Flexi PLA exists, yes. One was at home. Yeah, then except making your filament absorbing moisture, I don't know how you can make it less brittle. Maybe you can you can make your home temperature higher. That will also help making it less brittle. I can barely get 90 to work. Can't imagine how difficult is 60. Yes, very, very difficult. I had so much trouble with my Clockwork too, but TPU worked amazing with the Microswift direct drive. Okay, interesting. We can have a look at how the Microswift direct drive is designed. Like, is that dual gear with that special PTFE shape, that goes around the driver gear. 4 walls and 10% lightning with Cura on subsector bear. Oh, okay, there you go. And already with 4 walls and 10% lightning infill, and then it was very squishy. So lightning infill means at the bottom you basically have no infill. So that was very very squishy. 10% lightning infill, yeah. Sorry. Font art thread. What is this? Like up top, I found bunch of free author. Okay. Why does my first layer look like spider web? Spider web. Let's have a look. I'm using Eason. Okay, I understand now. I'm using Eason PLA on Ender 3. The brim sticks to the build plate, but the rest of the build is stringy and lumpy. The print seems doomed for failure, so I stopped. Any advice about what it is happening? Yeah, so first, it seems that you're printing with black, okay? But the first layer is not black, right? And actually, the first layer does not exist. It was squished so much on the build plate. So I don't know if you're printing with PVA as the brim or the first layer, but it's Ender 3, so most likely not. So most likely you have been scratching the nozzle for the whole first layer. I mean, already it makes me how do you say that? Cringe or like chills. I don't know how to say that in English, but just the fact that I imagine this whole first layer with the nozzle like completely squished, and then it cannot extrude, and then it's just scratching the whole way, and then most likely you had that extruder that was keep clicking, click, and then this kind of feeling, I don't like it. But that most likely what's happening, because you can even see the first layer support here. It's completely so yeah, the problem is this, but that's my guess. And if you're printing with a black filament and you check your first layer and it's not black, then you have that's a sign that something is happening, right? And then most likely it grinded your filament or something was damaged somewhere, and then it couldn't extrude properly afterwards, or maybe your nozzle even partially clogged or something like this. But if your first layer was with the same black PLA and it looked like this, then that's very bad news. Do you think it might be partially clogged? It could be, but the main thing is that first layer. That first layer is I don't like to see that. It makes me feel strange. Just imagining that thing happening. That first layer is is thin. Yeah, it's. I mean, at this point, it's not thin anymore. It's like I've had that happen. Cringe. Yeah, cringe. It make me cringe. If your first layer is transparent, it's too close. Yeah. That's how to learn. Make some basic mistake. Yes. Okay. Do I need smaller rubber spring? Details in the comment. Okay, so let's go and check the details. But definitely, this is normal. I mean, yeah, this is normal. Doesn't matter because you go up and down with your knob. Just put your end the stop lower. Where are the details? Details in the comment. So who was writing this? 098. 098. 098. I first upgraded to the rubber springs for my Ender 3v2 and I totally love them. However, I just got the magnetic build tag and level my bed. All the screws are nearly loose. One sneeze and a really bad day. Okay. Yeah, so it's really loose. Okay. So like the first comment says, just put your end stop lower. And then that solved the issue. So you can see the Z stop as the coarse leveling and the knob as the fine leveling. Okay, so if the knob reach their limit, then go back to the coarse one, and then come back again to the knob. We had that question in the last stream, I think. I have no ideas what went wrong. Help, or definitely under extrusion, I guess. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that looks bad. Is there any more details? I mean, at least give a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know. When you are a newbie, is that newbie, right? When you just start something. So when you just start 3D printing, is it? I don't know. Maybe because they just start, so they don't know that at least you have to give material or a little bit of context, what printer or this kind of thing. But I guess when you're new to 3D printing, maybe you don't even know there's different type of material. Maybe you don't know how important is the temperature for troubleshooting. So yeah, maybe I guess I understand. But if you have issues and you are seeking for help, then always try to give as much context as possible. Picture is the most important. So at least in this case, we have pictures. Pictures speaks way more than you trying to explain what's happening. So at least we have that. But on top of that, if you give a little context on the picture you're using, the brand, the type of and the settings and the print model, that would be great. Judging from the fact that internet issue or first internet connection that allows me to drink a little bit. Bubble is coming. Let's wait a little bit that it's coming back. It's not coming back. Let's wait a little bit more. Or change VPN, or it's not coming back. Let's go check what's happening. Okay, I was in Denver. It doesn't work. Let me go USA for China. Let me change my VPN to see if that solve anything. And let me open that. Let me open that. Okay, it's coming back slowly. Okay, it's coming back slowly. So I changed my VPN to USA for China. I don't know what USA for China means, but seems like it's working better. Okay, great. So let's go back. Let's go back to business. If we continue having issue, then we'll just slowly finish the stream. But it looks like it's coming back now. Okay, it's good now. Okay, great. So the issue here is definitely under extrusion. So it's not extruding as it should be. I mean, you can see the shell are not touching each other. You can see it's not even overlapping the top layers and the shell. The infill is completely under extruded. So I would check all the stuff related to under extrusion. Partially clogged nozzle, too low temperature, too high speed, heat creep, all of this kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, there is a long list of stuff you can check for under extrusion, but it's definitely under extrusion. What went wrong? I have no ideas, but the issue you are having is under extrusion. So you can check under extrusion, and then you can see all the thing that goes with it. Most likely, in your case, most likely you have been using default setting. So my guess is something's going on with your nozzle. Because I mean, you have some miniatures at the back, and it seems like you are more or less of a maker. So most likely something wrong with the hardware more than your setting. I think you have good setting. So check your nozzle, change your nozzle, or check your nozzle first. That would be my guess. That's what I like when I'm troubleshooting. Is a good troubleshooter is going to define your issue and then give you a bunch of things to fix it, right? A very good troubleshooter is going to define the issue and to define what type of customers you have in front of you and try to really dive deep and find the actual thing that is going on. And I think that's the beauty of troubleshooting, is if you can find exactly in one email what's going wrong, then you are a very good troubleshooter. Like, what I like is when I'm doing customer service at Polymaker and then I receive all of these emails, I like when I send one email with one way and then the answer is, oh, thank you, you solved my my issue, blah blah, everything is fine now. That's so satisfying. Rather than, you send an email like let's say you receive this. Most of the people would send an email back by saying, okay, what material, what printer are you using? And then I'm using this and this. Okay, is it working with other material? And then it answer back, no, it's not working with other material. And then you have all of this back and forth email. What I like is to skip all of this and just think very hard and get all my experience, and then have that one email that's gonna solve his problem. Nozzle clog and under extrusion, I think, well, nozzle clog is a cause, under extrusion is a result, right? I have to troubleshoot all day at work in customer service, so it's so tiring some days. Yeah, I'm not doing this the whole day. I usually take 2 hours to troubleshoot per day. But I like it. I like troubleshooting. I'm also Magnificent username. Oh, Joe the Saint is Magnificent username. Okay, got it. I always go in depth with people, though, regardless. Yeah, John, what I noticed for me is that most of the people, I'm not saying everyone, but most of the people don't care about, understanding what's happening. They care about how to solve it. And that's why I separated print busters with the Q&A, and that's why in my emails I usually don't spend time explaining. I just solve issue. Is the industry worth it? Yeah, I think so. Are those Amazon filament dryer box worth it, or is there a better option that can both dry and store filament? So, I may need to refresh. Drying and storing filament are very different. So, drying filament, you need the box to be open, and storing filament, you need your box to be closed. So, just from the fact that what I just told you, the fact that in one case it needs to be open, in one case it needs to be closed, makes the product impossible, right? Or you need to have some moving part or something like this. So you may or may not see an amazing product coming in that category somewhere in the next maybe early next year. But at the moment, I haven't seen any product that can store and dry the filament at the same time. If you have, then please share it. Share some links in the chat, then on Discord, and then we can have a look. File doesn't let me save after loading. Not sure what's the problem. Well, don't use the Creality slicer, and that should solve the problem. Is there a tool that can automatically cut a model into pieces so those pieces will fit the build volume of my printer? Yeah, just go on Prusa Slicer. If you go on Prusa Slicer, there is something that is called cut your model, something like this. Let me show you. If you go, I don't know if you can cut vertically though. I know you can cut horizontally, but I don't know if you can cut. Let me put my unicorn on there, and let me share again. So I'm extremely new to Prusa Slicer, but I know there is this tool here that allows you to cut your model. But is there any Prusa Slicer user out there in the chat? Can you cut it like as you want, or you can only? But I guess you just have to turn the model, right? If you want to cut it differently, and then you cut it. Yeah. Then you can pretty much cut it in whatever way you want. Yeah. So there is this tool that is very straightforward. So it's directly on the slicer, and then you just cut the part like this, and then you have both part on the build plate. So that's one way to do it. Or you can use I don't know, you can use Tinkercad also, and then you can just use the boolean to cut your model. There's many ways to cut your model. I just mean I always go for solution first and treat each case unique. Yes. Add negative volume. Just add negative volume and place it at the right Z height for bottom layer. Oh, nice. I've never used that feature. Yeah, negative volume works also. But yeah, on Prusa Slicer, they directly have that tool. Best 3D printer for beginners. Yeah, there's a couple of them. Quick question. What does this pitting in prints means? It's not retracting far enough, or do I need higher temperature? Oh, you mean okay. So just check Z-Sim. The Z-Sim, like hide the Z-Sim. That's the right keywords on Google. Hide the Z-Sim, and then you will see a bunch of stuff. So usually you can hide them in corners. So instead of putting them here, I would put it at the back of the benchy. There is some writing at the back of the benchy. You can hide it there because it's very difficult to get rid of it completely. A second thing I'm using is wiping. When you wipe the nozzle, it's going to fuse a little bit more the end of the layer with the start of the layers. And then what else can you do to hide this? So there is the just hide it in corners, the wiping features, and then I guess that's it. Yeah, the Z-Sim will be there anyway. So I don't know if you guys have other tricks to make the Z-Sim less apparent. But that's, for me, that's the two one. Hide them There is some special setting in the slicer where you can hide them and use the wiping motion in order to fuse them a little bit more. Uh, retraction. Retraction will help with the blob, but if it's like this, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know how a retraction can. Luban will let you cut up life-size model to fit an ender with pins. Oh, interesting. How do you call that? Luban? Luban. Oh, that's interesting. Make it big. Creation, Luban, user, blah, blah, Luban, generative design software that help designer and make a rapid production in their creation. Download Luban, blah, blah, blah. Lithopan. Oh, so there's different thing that it can do. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Luban is a tool that has a lot of different features that usually 3D printer users are looking for, like Lithopan, for example. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, thank you for sharing. That's nice. Let me share that link there. So if yeah, I mean, you all have a 3D printer, so most likely you may need one of Luban features. So I just shared the link in the chat. It looks pretty good. They have very interesting features, and all related to what we would need in 3D printing. Very nice, very nice. Thank you for sharing, Stephen. Also, that Benchy need a first layer tuning. Yeah, actually, I thought it would be about the first layer, but apparently it's about the Z-SIM. Turn off combing, I think, can cause it. Combing, really? Okay, interesting. Vase mode, yeah. Yeah, Santiago, that would be, yeah. I guess you're right. That would be the best way to completely get rid of it. Having a slow Z increasing. I haven't thought about it. Smart hiding and sharpest corner, yes. Parallelized contour, yeah. It does a lot. Yes, yeah, I just saw that. Nice tool. I'm gonna get that. Yeah, check that out. I didn't know Luban. I haven't heard of it. I'm at my wit's end. How do I solve it? My wit's end? What does wit's end means? See full image. If you're looking for an image, it was probably deleted. Okay. If you're looking for an image, it was probably deleted. Okay. How do I solve it? I have checked filament setting, have adjusted flow rate, print Z offset, bed adhesion, first layer grade, gesture broadly. Let me refresh. Why I don't have access to the picture. Okay. Well, sorry, I cannot help you because I don't know what width means. Width meaning. Sorry, width meaning. Mental sharpness and inventiveness, keen intelligence, a natural aptitude for using words and idea. Okay, so I have even more no idea what it means. He's confused. Oh, he's confused. That's what it means. I'm at my wit end. Oh, okay. Sorry, I cannot help because there's no picture, so I don't know what's happening. Okay, so we got an hour and 15 minutes of Q&A. I think it was nice. We discovered some nice stuff. We may discover the Prusa slicer cutting tool. We just discovered the Luban 3D tool, which is pretty nice. We've had some cringe with that first layer that was completely squished on the bed. But yeah, that was nice. So if there is no, it means they are fed up. Okay, got it. Yeah, and I also learned some new English word. I think every stream I'm learning some new English word. So guys, if you don't have any additional 3D printing question, then I think we'll finish here. And then again, make sure to record all your 3D printing question during the week, and then you can ask them in our next Tuesday. Otherwise, we'll just continue. I mean, every time I refresh this page, then there is new issues and new issues and new issues. I mean, look at this: issues, issues, issues. Oh, look at that. How would I go about cleaning this off your bed? Oh, this is like this thread is a horror movie. Like the infield that you can see through, it's a horror movie. But it's interesting. I mean, I like all of these things because it makes us learn more about 3D printing. I mean, sometimes I end up on some issue that I've never seen before. But all of these, I mean, I've seen before, and I start to have an idea of exactly what's happening. And then, well, we were talking about the hull line on the benchy. Well, there's a couple of them here. But yeah, don't worry. We'll always have something to talk about during the Q&A, because we have an industry that welcome a lot of new peoples. We are one of the fastest growing industries, so we'll have this a lot. The noise video loaded finally. Oh, really? Really? I want to hear the noise. What was the noise about the guy that we're talking about, the noise thing? First time the extruder does that sound. Okay. Did it? Were it loading? No, it was not. We will never know. We will never know that sound, what it sounds like. So maybe it's my internet. So I will share the link for you guys. But yeah, we will never know what was that particular sound that the printer was making. Like this. That was the sound that the printer was suffering about that first layer that cannot extrude. Oh, I cannot share link. Doesn't like the VPN. Yeah, maybe. My eyes. Okay, guys. We have 25 viewers, 33 entries, so I guess we have everyone there. So good luck to everyone, and let's draw our today's winner for today, which is going to be Brian Farmer. FDEV patch, congratulations. Well, I guess, I just sent you the spool yesterday to Mexico. Then let me check if we shipped out the spool. If we haven't shipped out, then I will combine them. And it will be cheaper for the shipping cost. So oh no, loading, my bad. Okay, so congratulations, FDEV patch. I will send you the link, and if you can, I think you have the link already, but I will send you the new link, and then if you can fill it today, if you have time, or tomorrow, and then I will quickly check the spool if we have ship them out or not. If not, then I will combine them. Otherwise it would be expensive to ship it to Mexico 2 times. We can combine them, and stop winning. Or if you win, try to win, within a few days. Then I can combine the shipment. Okay, thank you everyone for joining our Q&A. Again, we have a Q&A every Tuesday for you, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. And then we have Printbuster this Thursday, 9 p.m. if you are really interested in going in depth on some topic. And then and we have a new topic now. And then every Saturday at 12 p.m. EST, we are live on Twitch, and it's more of a hangout, and we discover a lot of awesome projects at that time. So also Latin American here. Yeah, all the people that are not from the US or Europe, then if you could if you could win, together, that would really help. Okay, thank you everyone for joining our stream today. And then I will see you in the next stream, Thursday, Saturday, or next week, Tuesday. And don't forget to record all your 3D printing questions. We need more questions. Thank you. Have a good one, everyone.